afternoon, everybody. Can you all hear? Wonderful. Well, I want to welcome you to this really wonderful and happy occasion here at White Emerson Mortuary. It's a place of celebrating life, and we are here to celebrate a wonderful, wonderful family-owned business, 6 generations here in Whittier, one of our oldest and most valued chamber members for the Whittier Chamber of Commerce, and we're just delighted to see such a full house here today. So without further ado, we have a nice program for you. It is my honor to introduce to you Phil and Paul White.
Thank you so much. I'm just getting up here because I guess I own the place, but really, most of you know him anyways because I give the place a bad name. But anyways, thank you all very much for being here. It's really an honor and a privilege to have you all here.
What's your name?
Here.
Tell everybody your name.
My name is Phil White. There you go. Better known as simply Paul's dad. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Dad. I do appreciate that. And yes, as Carol said, this is nice to have sort of an upbeat event here in this facility, truthfully. Yeah, exactly. I know. It's certainly not as rowdy a crowd, too, I believe. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul White. I'm the managing director here at White Emerson. I'm proud to be the 6th generation of my family's business here. Thank you. I know I did a lot of hard work to get to be 6th generation, clearly. But no, listen, a couple things. I just wanted to sort of open up our time here today before we get into our ribbon cutting and to just recognize and thank all of you for being here. As we reflect as a family over the history of our business, my dad and I, we know there's been some very clear themes in our family's 125-year history. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about here for a couple minutes as we get started. So, the themes that we recognize are family, community, God, believe it or not, construction, and actually some very strong women in between that I want to talk about. So to start off, this is a picture of our founding family back in 1894. Quaker ancestors, they settled here in Whittier with some other Quaker families from the Midwest because Addison, my great-great-great-grandfather, had some health issues and he needed to be here in a warmer climate. So that's why they moved all the way here from the Midwest and settled in Whittier. Our family was in the furniture making trade, and they became this community's first family of furniture making. At the time in history, though, it was customary for those who made the furniture to undertake the responsibility, those who made the caskets in a community, they undertook the responsibility of taking care of those community members who died. So this made my family also the first family of undertakers in Whittier. Here's a picture of some early days in funeral service. Our business was founded on Greenleaf. Actually, the address I just learned is 125 South Greenleaf, which is the vacant building just south of the Nixon Plaza building on Greenleaf. Just one facility in from the corner on Philadelphia and Greenleaf. Yeah, so that was where our business originally started. I want to thank Nick. Where are you from the museum? He just confirmed that with me today. Thank you very much, Nick. Yeah. So our original business name was E.H. White Furniture and Undertaking. Okay? Believe it or not, E.H. White stood for Eliza H. White, our founder's wife. The purpose for this was that Addison was very aware of his failing health and his impending demise. He only passed 3 years after they came here to Whittier. So together, he and Eliza decided that it would be important for them to name the establishment after someone who would carry it forward. At that time in history, generally speaking, women weren't seen as a very suitable individual to do business with. In most communities. But with the Quakers hold a core belief that everyone, man and woman, Slave and free, black and white, rich and poor, everyone is equal in the eyes of God. So their decision to name their establishment E.H. White Furniture and Undertaking was meant to protect our family because it sounded like a man that owned the business to the outlying communities, but for the Quakers that lived here in the town, they knew it was a woman carrying the helm of this business when he died, and everyone was cool with it, which is really neat. Very, very cool part of our history. So we recognize that God provided protection for our family by caring for our widowed matriarch here through this tight-knit and God-honoring community, the Quakers. In 1916, Eliza passed, a few years after Addison, and she was laid next to her husband. They were one of the first individuals buried at Whittier Heights Memorial Park, which is now known as Rose Hills Memorial Park, just inside Gate 14. You may recognize the mausoleum in the background. This is their monument right here in that historic section. So after Eliza's death, their son, our second-generation owner, took over the business, and 2 years later, in 1918, he moved us from our location on Greenleaf to this very site. At that time, he actually commissioned this piece of stained glass, and he had a matching one commissioned that he sent with his sister, who was a missionary in Jamaica. There's a matching piece that's in Jamaica in a church that was commissioned at the same time. Another neat part of our history. So when David built the original building on this site, he built it with his own two hands, and he also built a building right next door that's a historic landmark. And he established this corner as the home for our funeral home. It's been said of my great-great-grandfather that he was an exceptional people person, but a lousy businessman. After he nearly went bankrupt building the building here, it was only a couple years later, as he was trying to recover, that the Great Depression hit. And God provided a really neat business partnership in Charlie Emerson, who was one of the most successful businessmen in the community at that time. He was a banker. And he joined forces with my great-great-grandfather, mostly because he wanted a stable investment during the Depression time. So Charlie had the incentive of getting into our profession for that. And my great-great-grandfather had the stability or the foresight to involve somebody who knew how to run a business while he took care of the individuals that we cared for. So, there's probably no better investment during the Depression than a funeral home, right? Come on, it's something that's going to be needed. So, I know, right? So we kept Mr. Emerson's name as a testament to his legacy in our family's life, and that's why it's known as White Emerson. So, over the next couple generations, our business has grown. This is coming up to about the mid-1960s. My grandfather, David Edward White, he acquired a funeral home in La Habra called Coleman Mortuary, right across from City Center there. And also during the mid-1960s, we had one of the greatest honors bestowed on us as a family business when we were called upon to take care of, this is David Edward on the left, Charlie Emerson on the right, and this was the building that was built in 1918. Yeah. I'll come back to that in a minute. But we were called upon by Senator Nixon to take care of his mother who passed away in 1967. That was a great honor for us. In the funeral biz, I guess you could say it was a big break for us as a funeral home to take care of such a high-profile individual. But, truthfully, we thought things were rolling really well as a family, and the business was growing, and things were going well, and we're getting called upon by some notable people. But the saying goes, we plan, and God laughs. And fast forward to 1987, and that old brick building was destroyed in the 87 earthquake. So this is a picture of that building that you saw just 2 slides ago, this very corner, completely condemned. And it humbled our family. And, it left us with a decision. It left my dad with a decision to either close our doors after 4 generations or to press on in faith, trusting that the Lord would provide for us. And obviously, we all know what happened. Yeah. Well done, Dad. So, the physical collapse of our building, it led to a resurrection of sorts for the spirit of our family and really the realization of how much the Whittier community was there for us. In the aftermath of the earthquake, believe it or not, the city was giving us a pretty hard time about our location here. They wanted to relocate us to another part of town that was out of the Uptown District. And we've been here for so stinking long. I have to reference another very strong woman, Miss Jenny Ball. She went to bat for us with the city council at that time and said, "You leave the White family alone." I talked to Jenny this morning. I was so bummed to hear she wasn't going to be here today, but she means a lot to us. So, she led the charge against the city council at the time. Don't worry, Joe. But don't cross us, because I still got Jenny's number. And in '87, my dad started a rebuild again with his own two hands. Just like our second generation owner, he rebuilt this building into what we're sitting in today. Here's a picture of my dad, my sister, and I as he's rebuilding. And providentially, our operations as a funeral home were able to carry on because we had that second location in La Habra. And we were able to shift all of our operations over there. We still ran services in the local churches here. But in the rebuilding process, we were granted permission to put in our own cremation center, which is here on site now. And that's been a huge godsend because of the shift that's taken place within our profession towards cremation. So, if it isn't clear, God always has a plan. He always has a plan. So, in 2006, my dad sold our other location in La Habra just to consolidate it here because this is our heartbeat. This is where our family's been for so many years. Life's given us a lot of twists and turns, for sure, as a family. But we've been very fortunate to have some very special people, including so many of you, to support us, and the Lord has always had our backs. So, listen, a little bit about who we are now. I think it's important. We believe that our profession is unlike pretty much any other profession for a lot of reasons. We suit up every day, and we extend compassionate care to families on probably one of the hardest days of their lives. And it can be stressful for the families, certainly. It can be stressful for us. We're working 24 hours a day sometimes. It's just, it's a lot of work. My friend Brian from Rose Hills back there can testify to that too. But, we believe this is a calling. And our mission here is just to provide comfort to families who are mourning. We want to provide the highest level of compassionate care to them. That includes doing personalized services and ongoing support. We believe we comfort our families by helping them remember the life, honor the love, celebrate the legacy, and heal from the loss of their loved one. So, we've been blessed with the most skilled and deeply passionate team that our company has ever known in its entire history right now. And I'd like to invite everyone on our team to come up here because I want to introduce you really quick. And that would include my own family members, including my wife and kids, please, to come up here because I'd like to introduce you really quick. You guys are being very patient. So obviously, as you all know, my pop's here, Phil. His blood, sweat, and tears are in this place. He's literally rebuilt this place, and his family is the biggest priority in his life, and I'm proud to be his son. This is my boy right here, Garrett. He's my oldest. He's 8 years old. He attends Plymouth Christian School here in Whittier, which, by the way, Plymouth Church is celebrating its 125th year this year as well. And it's a neat legacy there. This is my mom, talking about strong women. She homeschooled my sister and I all the way up to the 9th grade. Talk about strength right there. Fully credentialed teacher. She had a passion to want to homeschool her kids, and I'm so grateful that she did. Thanks, Mom. This is my sister, Annie. I hope this isn't too personal, but Annie, when she was 4 years old, was diagnosed with leukemia in the midst of just years after rebuilding. And we're just glad to have her. We're glad to have her. She's served on our team for a long time. She's recently stepped away because It's looking like she might have other priorities in life. No pressure, Dave. Come on, you can't show up to this event knowing I'm speaking and not expect a little, Yeah. Yeah. Would you kiss his ring, please? Yeah. I'm teasing Dave. I'll stop. I'm sorry. To the strongest woman in the room, which is my wife. She's had to deal with a lot of idiosyncrasies of this business, this profession, and she's done it with so much grace, raising our 3 kids, staying at home, taking care of them. My wife, Andrea, I just want to thank you so much, sweetheart. We have Miss Emily, our administrator. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Charlie, raise your hand. This is my daughter, Charlie. She's our youngest. Yeah. And then Addison, right next to her, our middle child. Addison just got her ears pierced. She's thrilled. She's buying earrings like crazy. Love these girls. She is named after our founder, Addison, yes. Charlie is not named after Charlie Emerson, just to be clear about that. My wife will have a conversation with me later about that, if I said that. On to Miss Emily. Emily is our administrative assistant. She is truthfully the glue that holds this place together because most of our team are guys, and you know that dynamic. I don't need to go into it, but Emily is outstanding and provides wonderful support to our whole organization. Thank you, Emily. Yeah. My sweet Aunt Esther right here, she helps us with a lot of the behind-the-scenes work, our bookkeeping and systems and everything. Another integral part of the team. Thanks very much, Esther. Curtis Crosby, been with our team for 19 years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he has... I have had to learn a lot, and he has done much of my matriculation process over the years. He's been a backbone to our firm for many, many years. He is like family, as close as it gets without actually being part of our official family. And you should be grateful you're not a part of our official family. On to Miss Cecilia. Miss Cecilia, she actually came to us a few years ago from Rose Hills, but we are so blessed to have her. She does outstanding work for us, leading services for us out at the churches here during our evening hours. Cecilia has a true heart for this business. Thank you, Cecilia. Kyle Grundyke, he is a second-generation funeral director. His father worked for us many years ago before his father passed away. We are very blessed to have Kyle. He has done an outstanding job for us. Even though he's within his first year with us, he understands what it means to serve. So we're very blessed to have Kyle. Miguel Acuna has been with our team almost as long as I've been alive. No lie. I'm being serious. Yes. But Miguel is our Superman because I can call him and say, we have an errand for you to run. He'll change his clothes and be here in 7.5 minutes. I've timed him before. So Miguel is, God bless you, Miguel. And lastly, Mr. Richard Crane. Richard used to be a pastor on staff down at First Family Church, what is now Family Church, for many years. But Richard has spearheaded our grief recovery efforts, our grief support efforts here at the firm for many years. He's one of our lead directors. And Richard has a tremendous heart. You can't talk to him for more than 30 seconds without realizing that. So well done, Richard. Thank you very much. There's one member of our team who's not able to be with us today. His name is Kelly Hughes. He heads up our care center to take care of all the decedents that are entrusted to us. There's not a man that is more skilled in what he does than him. Without trying to be too specific or graphic, he has calculated that he has cared for over 23,000 individuals over the course of his career. So he is very skilled. He's sorry he couldn't be with us today. He's in the middle of moving, but he does outstanding work for us. We're very blessed to have him. So, yes. And Dan, forgive me, Dan, the man behind the camera. I am so grateful. Thank you. This is why I need so many people in my life to help backfill all my weaknesses. Dan leads all of our personalized, he is our director's assistant. Thank you. Let me slow down a little bit. Our director's assistant, he provides the support, making sure all of our documents are in place, making sure that all of our polish is on every day for this place. So Dan has such an eye for this. He's put together the slideshows. He's put together all the music and the printing that you'll see throughout our facility. And we're grateful to have Dan. So thanks, Dan. All right. Thank you. I've embarrassed you enough. You've all been very patient. You guys can go back and sit down. Thank you. One last thing I would like to say. Just going to throw those there on the ground. We have a gift for you. I trust my kids have passed them out to you as you've come in. The kids were thrilled last night and said, please let us help pass these out. So I made sure they could help. I hope everyone has had a chance to get it. But what you'll see inside are a few things. First of all, a letter from us as our family. Thank you very much for being here today. We have a little, it's a shameless plug. It's a gift certificate for our services and pre-planning, okay? We get that out of the way. But listen, the real heartbeat of the gift in this journal and this pen, our friends at Acro, Bonnie and Glenn, where are you? They helped us put this together, of course, at the last minute, because that's how I roll, and I'm so sorry, guys. Thank you for being here, still being my friend. But for 125 years, our family has written our history and our story here in Whittier. And I thought it was only fitting to encourage each and every one of you, please, 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 capture your story. Capture your story for your kids, your family. I am a wonderful recipient of the generations that have gone before me, and I'm so grateful to know so much about my family because of it, and I encourage you to do the same. So that's it. Carol, get up here. I'm just such a big mess. Thank you.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have learned so much about this family and Whittier and the roots and the wonderful community that Whittier is and continues to be to this day. And we are blessed to have you as part of our community and part of our business community. So thank you for that.